The early 2000s, where PC protection was more than just vital, and PCs were way easier targets to attack and infect with viruses than they are now. And I ask you this, if you used a PC during the early 2000s, do you remember a virus site called Goggle.com? No? Yes? Well, to put things simply, Goggle.com was a typo squatting site, which took advantage of people who misspelt Google, instead typing Goggle. This would take them to a site that earlier on in 2006 would instantly start spamming pop-ups and unclosable web pages on your computer, ultimately infecting it with thousands of viruses until your PC crashed, and when you turned your computer back on, it was unusable. So before we talk more about this website, I do not condone visiting this website even today. Even though it's supposed to be tame according to sources, I still don't trust it. So just don't go there. The first known documentation of Goggle.com came from the internet security giant McAfee, as it was documented in 2006 by staff member Greg Bertrand in a video where a user visits Goggle.com on their computer and is flooded with all sorts of ads and viruses. This video appears to be the only documentation of the website in 2006 to this day. After catching wind of this, in 2007, Google attempted to buy the domain to stop the malicious attacks from happening, but they were refused. Goggle.com was known to install so much malware on your computer that it was practically unstoppable, and one of the more famous pieces of malware software that would be installed with this website was a fake piece of antivirus software called Spy Sheriff, which would tell the user they had fake viruses and would force you to pay them to remove it. The software itself was very hard to remove, as it would place itself inside your computer's very own system restore folders. After a few years of people and antivirus software developers catching on, Goggle.com in 2009 would transition to a scam survey site, which tried to get you to enter your personal details to win gadgets such as iPads or iPhones.
Can you just imagine winning a free iPad from Goggle.com? Really, a free iPad from Goggle.com? Could you just imagine? I could just imagine what I could do with it. I could Skype, I could share my photos with my friends, I could MMS, I could SMS, read books, carry it around with me wherever I go. And I would be sure that I would tell everybody that I got it from Goggle.com. Free iPad for me, TJ. Free iPad, Goggle.com.
And in 2011, Google would attempt to take the site down by filing a UDRP complaint against them. The legal dispute dismissed this claim, but would end up forming a coexistent agreement between Goggle.com and Google.com, allowing Goggle.com to use the domain but under strict terms and conditions. Following this, in 2015, the site, according to some sources, changed ownership and suddenly had returned to a scam survey site, which instead this time offered free movies, and would redirect you to another phishing site outside of Goggle.com's domain. Goggle.com was converted to a shopping website which redirected to Amazon later on, and in 2017 visiting the website would just display a dead HTML web page with the text that just said Goggle, and from 2019 onwards it would transition through a multitude of scam websites up until it was purchased yet again in November of 2019 and would now redirect to malicious Google Chrome add-ons and pornography. Then in December 2020 it began redirecting to a political blog on a WordPress site, which apparently doesn't host any malware anymore. But just to be safe, don't visit it. I swear, as a kid, catching wind of this, I was petrified to even visit the website. But I was also curious, but I didn't. It was too risky. If you remember it like I do, were you the same? Let me know. Thank you for watching. See you next time. What shall the next episode of Forgotten Internet be? So long.